New to Civ 7? New to Civ in general? Wondering which Civ and Leader is right for you? It's the biggest question you'll be faced with when you first open up the game. And while there is no outright best choice here, at least not anymore, rest in peace Maya, they all play very differently, especially in Civ 7 where we can now mix and match Civs and Leaders. There are hundreds of different potential combinations to choose from. Just know that these are only suggestions, and no matter who you pick, with the right strategy you can always pull out the W. So let's get straight into it, shall we, with science. The classic SimCity playthrough. You don't know what I mean by SimCity, it basically means you're going to try and stay mostly friendly with other players and total down and do your own thing. And I can think of no better leader for this playstyle than Himiko, Queen of War. Not to be confused with the very different, culturally focused High Shaman personality, Himiko does everything you want from a science leader. She keeps everyone friendly by allowing you to support endeavours for free. This will help a lot with her second ability that grants +4 science per age for every leader that you're friendly or helpful with. And if you go all the way and become an ally with someone, you can initiate a unique endeavour to grant both of you a whopping +25% science. One of the best leaders in the game, and a great choice for beginners, as supporting the endeavours of the AI will keep them off your back and let you focus on building your empire and running away with the game. Pair with Maya in the Antiquity Age for the ultimate science Civ. Although the Maya have been nerfed recently, their unique quarter is still really powerful and only gets stronger as the game progresses. Once you hit the Exploration Age, consider transitioning to the Abbasids to maintain your scientific dominance by taking advantage of big cities with a ton of resources. From there, cap off your playthrough with Meiji Japan in the Modern Age, paving over your obsolete buildings with Japan's powerful Zaibatsu district, which gives you insane gold and production in that city. Another science pick to consider would be Ada Lovelace. Now note that Ada is part of the Crossroads of the World collection, not available by default, so keep that in mind. Ada is an extremely straightforward leader to pilot, and she plays well into the current meta, which is to get as many towns converted to cities as possible. When you complete a Civic Mastery, all of Ada's cities receive +2 science per age. When you complete a Tech Mastery, you gain culture equal to half of your science per turn. Now, as you play the game, you're going to be unlocking Tech and Civic Masteries, because there's some pretty powerful stuff in there, and Ada is going to reward you with a huge amount of science and culture every time you do. Nothing too crazy, just a solid leader all around. For Ada, the Mayans are, of course, always a strong scientific choice, but if you want to go down a different path, consider the Han, who specialise in building up bigger settlements and constructing the Great Wall across their empire for insane yields. But let's be honest, the real reason you do this is because it just looks sick. But from there, continue your Great Wall playthrough with the Ming in the Exploration Age, and, as with Himiko, Meiji Japan is going to be your best bet for a strong science victory finish in the Modern Age. Onto military. For those players who just can't be happy with what they've got and always want more. Starting with Xerxes, King of Kings. Another strong contender for the best leader in the game, Xerxes, King of Kings excels at acquiring and sustaining a huge, thriving empire with +1 settlement limit per age and a straight up 10% bonus to gold in all of your settlements, doubled in settlements not founded by you. Gold is extremely important in Civ 7 as it's the only way you can convert towns to cities, so you can never have too much. But the bonuses don't stop there. Your units also get +3 combat strength in neutral and enemy territory, and you get +100 culture and gold per age when you capture a settlement for the first time. Paired with Persia, you're going to be getting huge combat bonuses when you're on the offense. All the while, the mighty King of Kings' ability to generate gold will keep your empire humming along even with an enormous army. And with 2 settlement limit increases in your civic tree and 1 from your leader, Xerxes' Persia can start to snowball massively, all at the expense of your neighbours of course. Then, if you want to keep it up and go full domination mode, follow that up with Mongolia to crush everyone on your home continent in the Exploration Age, and Prussia in the Modern Age to complete your world conquest. With this pathway, your empire is going to be solely focused on taking over cities with insane combat strength bonuses, and a massively inflated settlement limit to keep your empire happy. A very strong combination for a player who wants to see red from start to finish. For your second domination pick, we've got Trung Truck, and Trung Truck is all about commanders. She gains 3 free promotions on her first army commander, and her army commanders just in general gain 20% more experience. Further to this, cities founded on tropical tiles gain a 10% science boost, and this bonus goes up to 20% during a formal war that she declared. A great set of bonuses, as that first commander is probably going to be key to any early game aggression you might want to partake in, while the science bonus will make sure you can keep up with science while you're busy building units rather than infrastructure. Keep in mind that science is always going to be crucial for military prowess, as squaring up to someone who's outpaced you in science is always going to be an uphill battle against their more advanced units. Pair Trung Truck with Rome for huge commander and expansionist synergy, as Rome's unique commander, the Legatus, can found a new settlement for every 3 promotions it gains. This means that you essentially get a free settler alongside your first commander, and the 20% increase will help you get even more after that. From there, if you want something slightly different to your standard domination gameplay, and you want to take advantage of pillaging and raiding your neighbour's land without actually taking them over, consider picking Bulgaria in the Exploration Age and Buganda in the Modern Age to become the absolute neighbour from hell, sustaining your empire off the misery of everyone around you. Side note, if you are going down this route, try and pick up the Mausoleum of Theodric in the Antiquity Age to double rewards from pillaging. But if you're not able to build it yourself, don't worry, you're well suited to acquire this wonder via other means. Moving on to economic, for players who want to generate a ton of gold, providing the flexibility to invest in infrastructure to build up your empire or quickly purchase an army. Whether that be for offense or defense, gold lets you quickly adapt to changing situations. And for our first leader, this one may look familiar, but his playstyle couldn't be more different. Xerxes, the Achaemenid, the green one. Not to be confused with his aggressive King of Kings persona, happy green trading Xerxes gains +1 trade route limit with all other leaders and gets +50 culture and 100 gold per age when you create a trade route or road. In addition to that, he gains +1 culture and gold per age on unique buildings and unique tile improvements. I think the more I've played this game, the more I've come to appreciate just how good trading is, so green Xerxes has really gone up the ranks in my book. Extra trade route limit is going to save you a ton of influence over the game, and the culture and gold throughout the game are just fantastic nice to haves on a leader. The civilization pairings, when it comes to gold generation, you cannot go past the Mississippians. They have a tradition called shell-tempered pottery, which gives all buildings +1 gold adjacency to resources, which is absolutely phenomenal throughout the entire game. They also get a unique trader that gives them gold for trading, which is just a straight up upgrade, and a very, very powerful unit in the form of the Burning Arrow. Probably far away the best unit in the game in my opinion for both offense and defense. This thing is crazy. The Mississippians will get you off to a great start in your game, and from there, the Chola can keep up the trade route theme with their ability that gives them an additional trade route from trade agreements, and a tradition that makes this action cheaper as well. Finish your run with Qing China in the Modern Age to grant gold, culture and influence on your imported resources, and your trading empire will have reached its absolute pinnacle. For a slightly different path, try Amina. Less focused on trading and the resources she already owns, the self-reliant Amina grants +1 gold per age for each resource you have assigned to cities. And as a nice aside bonus, she gets a whopping +5 combat strength to units on plains and desert, should anyone try to attack you. Amina pairs naturally well with the Aksum in the Modern Age, who grant even more gold from resources, as well as increased resource capacity for settlements near coast or navigable rivers. And if you do happen to have a lot of settlements near navigable rivers, consider transitioning to Songhai in the Exploration Age for yet another increase to your resource capacity, as well as having a very unique pathway to completing the Economic Legacy path. Essentially, when you complete your civic tree, your homeland cities will start to generate treasure fleets for you, no treasure resources required. And finally, the ultimate gold-loving civ in the Modern Age, Mughal India. They gain 75% increased gold from all sources, but have a negative 25% modifier to all other yields. Good news though, their final civic allows them to purchase wonders with gold. And believe me, you'll be making enough of it by this point. For our last victory path, we have cultural. And I've got a few opinions about the cultural victory. Watch my previous video if you want to see those, but let's not get sidetracked. Here's one suggestion, Lafayette, who has an absolute smattering of bonuses to get through. Firstly, he has a unique endeavour he can use that grants him an additional social policy slot. Note that if the other person supports it, they'll get one too. This is great for if you ever have an excess of influence, as social policy slots are always welcome. Keeping with that theme, his units also gain +1 combat strength for each tradition he has slotted into his government. And finally, his settlements gain +1 culture and happiness per age. Which doesn't sound like much, but consider that you always start the game with 10 culture, +1 culture right from the first turn is literally a 10% increase, and it's those sorts of little bonuses that get the snowball rolling in Civ. In terms of Civs, pick Greece for a more diplomatically focused playthrough, or Rome for a more military playthrough, as the Roman Legion pairs really well with this focus on traditions. From there you can transition into Hawaii if you manage to fulfill their difficult unlock requirements, or the Mujapa hit, particularly if you're going for a focus on relics. In the modern age, you've got Britain, who are good at digging things out of the ground, Mexico, who love to celebrate, Russia if your empire is really cold, or the French. Choose wisely. That should cover you for the 4 main victory pathways currently in the game, but if you want something a little more out there, you could pick Machiavelli, who thrives on causing chaos, benefiting whenever you reject one of his diplomatic actions. Isabella is great if you want to win the game, as her wonder start buys and abilities give you absolutely insane momentum from the very start. And if you're the kind of person who picks the deprived starting class in Dark Souls, play Pachacuti and pick the Incans in the Exploration Age. Good luck. And that's that. Hopefully you found this helpful if you're considering getting the game, or thought-provoking if you've already got 300 hours in the game watching a beginner's guide video. Keep in mind this was absolutely not a tier list video. All the leaders and civs I listed here are included because I think they have interesting playstyles that fit nicely into their victory path. But hey, if you do want a tier list video, let me know. And on that note, leave your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like or dislike the video, and I'll see you next time. But until then, thanks for watching.